Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel spoke candidly earlier about the opportunity to coach in the AFC Championship game this weekend.
I just enjoy coaching these guys. It's, you probably take it for granted, coaching and then getting another opportunity, and I've told them that. And so to do it with guys that are fun to be around and, again, nobody takes themselves too seriously, and they give it to me, I give it back to them, and, we try to get ready to go play a game.
It really is a fun team. Okay, for more on the Patriots-Broncos matchup, we welcome in our Patriots reporter, Mike Reese. And Mike, what's the Patriots defense saying about facing Sean Payton and that Broncos offense?
Well, Laura, let me lead off with some breaking news. Harold Landry, who led them in the regular season in sacks with 8.5, is not going to play in this game due to a knee injury. Anthony Jennings, a 6-year veteran who Mike Vrabel picked as a game captain this week, likely to step in for him. Going to give you two buzzwords on what they're saying about facing Sean Payton and this offense: volume and versatility. Those two things, Robert Spillane, the linebacker, told me they're going to see a lot of funky formations, a lot of motion, a lot of personnel groupings, and it's really going to test their discipline and their rules. The last thing I want to leave you with, Laura, Patriots have finished their practices this week. They're going to leave tomorrow. I asked Mike Vrabel about an hour ago, how did it go? He said, good energy, good juice, and great meetings all week.
That's good news for the Patriots. Appreciate you, Mike Reese, the latest there. And Jarrett Stidham on the other side could have his hands full against that Patriots pass rush, right? This has been blitzing like mad in the playoffs, this group. Quarterbacks completing only 38% of their passes, down 20% from the regular season. They also have more interceptions and touchdowns in the last two games. Certainly we saw what they did against C.J. Stroud. They've been really good. Mina, New England has had a lot of success when sending the blitz this postseason. Do you see this as a problem for Jarrett Stidham on Sunday?
I do. I think it's something he's going to have to face a lot. So going back and watching Jarrett Stidham's tape, both the regular season and the preseason, what struck me, Dan, I know you did the same, we talked about this, was when he's clean, he's an accurate quarterback. He can throw the ball downfield. Yep. A lot of the same throws we've seen Bo Nix make. The issue, to me, is when he faces pressure. And the last time he played in the regular season for the Broncos, 5 sacks, did not perform well under pressure. Whereas I think Bo Nix's ability to avoid sacks is one of his greatest attributes as a quarterback. He has the 3rd lowest pressure to sack rate in football. So here comes a Patriots defense that has not only been blitzing a lot in the postseason, but I think will want to do so, especially given how good this Broncos offensive line is relative to the ones they face. So I think for Stidham and for Sean Payton, you have to come in with a plan for those blitzes, and he has to play fast because it's when he doesn't that things start to get a little bit shaky.
Yeah, I know we do this job and we get paid and we on the same show together, but Mina just said every single thing that I was going to talk about with defense and Jarrett Stidham. And look, the reality is, it's the obvious. The reality is it's the obvious. A guy that hadn't played in a long time in the AFC Championship, you want to speed up his processing. And you don't only have to do that by blitzing, you do that by disguising, you do that by giving them different coverages, and not really being, you don't have to be so intricate. Just speed this game up and see if he can respond, and you adjust from there. I'm assuming that's what Mike Vrabel and his defense is doing. They sped the game up for C.J. Stroud. They sped the game up for quarterbacks that's been playing all season long. And this defense deserves a ton of credit for their discipline, as Mina talked about. They're seemingly always in the right spot. They contain quarterbacks, and they bring pressure in the center of the pocket, which I'm sure Jarrett Stidham is going to have to deal with quite a bit this week.
That is the #1 hardest thing for a quarterback to have to figure out after he hasn't played. Just how fast is this game going to move on me? The feel of color, not only from the line, but windows when you're trying to throw to them. Marcus, I wanted to ask you this straight up. Milton Williams, playing better right now than he did last year on the Eagles Super Bowl run?
Yeah.
Bro, he's been
more reps. more reps, probably more volume. You're seeing him make more plays. It was a significant rotation in Philly. So
Yeah.
I think it's just more plays and more opportunities he's having.
Yeah.
Man, they put him and Barmore on the field, and that pass rush just goes. They've been very good in the run game, but I didn't like the pairing of those guys has totally stunted teams' ability and willingness to run the football. Obviously, we've talked about those backers a ton this year, and then what it's allowed is that pass rush to just get going. And when that pass rush gets going with Williams and Barmore and then Chase on in their games, it's a problem. I think it's a huge part of this game from really not just Jarrett Stidham's standpoint. Yes, deal with that, but it really comes down to how is Sean Payton going to protect against that plan-wise? How is he going to have an idea of, I don't want to have to deal with those two interior D tackles too much. Go, if I take my two guards and center and deal with those tackles, then those edges are one-on-ones. And I think that's a problem with Chase on. So I think it's huge for Sean, just figuring out how he wants to handle those two interior run-stopping D tackles, but also really good in the pass rush game.
I hope somebody clipped off Marcus's original answer to that question. Yeah.
He was phenomenal in that Super Bowl run too. That's why he got $100 million.
Yeah,
You could see him like revisiting the highlights in his brain.
It's somewhere there.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on this game. We got to bring RC in here, and we're going to bring him in for the really heavy-hitting stuff here. Time now for a play sheet presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. RC, over under 225.5 pass yards for Drake Maye.
This isn't very hard hitting, but I'm going to go under. I think that they're going to really utilize Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson in this game. This game is going to be about not turning the football over. Drake Maye protects the football well in the past, but we've seen him get loose in the pocket and fumble some down the stretch. I look for him to utilize his legs, and so I'm going to go under on 225 passing yards.
Okay, what about over under a half passing touchdown for Jarrett Stidham?
I went over just because, I don't want to be disrespectful. I get it. You're playing against a defense that's only given up one touchdown in the entire playoffs. A defense that's been incredibly stingy. Hell, Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers did 3 points, turned C.J. Stroud over 4 times in the first half. But I do believe that them having to figure out a little bit about Jarrett Stidham as he figures out a little bit about them may give him an opportunity to put one into the end zone.
Okay, give us an anytime touchdown scorer.
Ramondre Stevenson, I feel like his resurgence in these playoffs have really helped Drake Maye and also this offense. You think about him in the past game, 75 yards against the Chargers, 70 yards rushing against the Houston Texans to salt that game away late. I feel like he needs to be big in this game as well. He has to protect the football. He had some issues with that early on in the season, but he's been so productive here in the playoffs.
RC, here's how you know it's hard hitting. A $10 bet wins you $55. A whopping $55, people.
You know what that means? That means they hard to hit. That's what that means, Laura. That I'm probably damn wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. All right,
Hope
coming up.
Cardi B don't get me again.
She better not. We haven't made our game picks yet, but watch out, Cardi B. Close playoff games have been Sean McVay's specialty, but can he keep that trend going against the Seahawks? Swagu says no. He'll explain that coming your way next. On DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers bet